What's up, guys? What's going on? Dank Rage back again with another Marvel Heroes video for you, and today we're going to be talking about artifacts. Now, there are tons of artifacts in the game. Some of them are shit, some of them you really want to keep a hold of, and with this video, I want to kind of delve directly into that subject and just give you my opinions on which ones you should hang on to and all that kind of stuff. So, just starting off, I want to just kind of preface this with a little bit. Like, this is just all my opinion. This is all from me. This isn't backed up by a whole lot of math or a whole lot of research outside of just. I've been playing this game for a long time. I've kept up with the updates, and I feel like I have somewhat of a grasp on this. So take it for what you will, and yeah. So let's go ahead and get right into it. But first, let's take a look at the Crimson Box. Now, if you're fairly new to the game or you haven't been playing a whole lot within the past maybe 8 to 10 months, the Crimson Box is a great way of just getting lots of artifacts really fast. There's plenty of ways to get them through various events. You can get them through the Danger Room. Sometimes they can drop off of the target buffs from the armor event, from just tons of ways. And I feel like they're a really awesome way of getting the high-end artifacts without having to sacrifice a lot of time farming. So just a couple ones out of here that are of note. You got your Gem of the Curse, you got your Hands of Doom, your Hides and Lizard formulas, your Saber-Tooth mains, your Sacred White Gorilla necklaces. Those are the ones that are probably mostly used, maybe mostly traded as well. Some of them have fallen off, especially with the addition of the new round of artifacts that came in a few months ago, like Pyros and Saber-Tooths, Molemans, all those other ones that are recently added. But I got a whole bunch of them in my inventory right now, and I'm just going to go quickly through them, maybe mention a certain type of character or a certain type of build that it might be going very well with, and yeah, we'll go from there. So starting off up here in the top left corner, you got your white suit jacket. Perfect for, not necessarily a best in slot build, but if you're lacking a little bit of defense and some health and some flat damage rating, go ahead and throw on a white suit jacket. It's not bad. It's a generally a good artifact. Right next door, you got your Mayhem Demon Blood, which comes from the Mystic Mayhem event. It drops out of the coffers that they drop, the little red boxes that you see pop around every now and then. And these are pretty good too. It's more of a stacking kind of ramp up type artifact, and once you get to that demonic mayhem, you start getting tons and tons of bonuses, with all the fighting and the speed, plus just the flat energy, mental or physical damage rating that you're going to get off of them. It's pretty solid. I enjoy using them on quite a few characters. Magneto is Right t-shirt, pretty basic range damage artifact, lots of modifiers on there with the crit and brute, and pretty standard for if you don't have, say, I don't know, a flag or a crossbones teaching credential. This thing is, pretty decent supplement. You got your Taskmasters. Taskmaster's Fighting Guide used to be one of the best artifacts in the game if you were able to roll it above, say, about 90-95% on all the rolls that are important, like the crit hit rating to ranged and melee, the damage rating, and of course the base damage versus bosses. But ever since the crossbone teaching credentials came out, which is this guy right up here, I feel like the Taskmasters has really fallen out of favor just because of the amount of damage that you're going to be getting from the crossbones. But it's still not bad. It's pretty good. It's all right, especially if, like I said, you get the really high rolls. The advanced Circlet of Satorak is one of those that's kind of niche. It's very heavy on the physical damage. A few modifiers on there with the brute and crit, but I don't know. It just feels a little bit lacking in some things. I don't know if it's maybe some more multipliers with a crit or brute damage rating. I don't know, but it's a solid artifact for when you're trying to get just a little bit more of a defense buffer with the durability and the invulnerability orb on hit. But I don't know. I really wouldn't recommend it too much for any kind of best in slot build, but it has its places. Hand of Doom, another one of those that has kind of fallen out of favor just due to how many other better artifacts are coming out. But it's not bad. I feel like Hand of Doom will probably be coming back into play a whole lot more once we get the Blessing rework coming out. There's going to be a lot of different ways that we're not going to be able to get crit and brute strike anymore, especially with just the Hella Blessing getting nerfed to ridiculous amounts. So I feel like the Hand of Doom might come back a little bit. So if you have any of those, hang on to them for a little bit. You got your Gem of the Curse. It's become the standard of trading in this game, and it's rightfully so because of the amount of damage that you can get from them. You don't see them too much more anymore, but they're still pretty prevalent, especially when you get really high rolls on them. Lots of damage can come from it, so definitely keep these around, especially if you plan on trading or doing any kind of just test builds or anything like that. Of course, like I was mentioning earlier with the crossbones, probably one of the best artifacts in the game if you can get really good rolls on it, so definitely keep a hold of them. They come in 3 different flavors. You got your mental, physical, and energy, same as the Mayhem Demon Blood, 3 different flavors. So if you're looking for a particular one, maybe you can trade, maybe, just try and get the ones that you're looking for. I really wish that you would, whenever you go to re-roll, that you could potentially re-roll the actual damage type rather than just the amount of damage that you get from it, but maybe one day. The brooch is from the Lower Asgard in Chapter 9. Up in the northeast corner, you have a little mini event that happens every now and then there's an event, a vendor that pops up that sells these. It's pretty good, lots of damage, lots of crit, and it's pretty subsistent. Nick Fury was right. Pretty basic ranged physical damage, lots of crit damage, good stuff. Arnim Zola's, if you're suffering from spirit issues when you're playing a damage over time character, this one's not a bad one to pick up. Your Ziggurat, I would have to say that this is one of those very niche artifacts nowadays, especially since everybody got a free travel power. Now, some characters, ride motorcycles or scooters if you're Deadpool, but sometimes you just need a little bit of extra mobility. Ziggurat can help you out here. You get a free teleport at the cost of some HP, and you kind of has a cutoff there, so you can't kill yourself moving around the map. But it does have quite a bit of damage on there with the crit and crit damage, so if you're looking for a little bit of extra mobility, think about picking one of these up. Hyde's formula, pretty good. I enjoy using them. I like comboing it with the Scroll Medallion of Bravery, so you can get that much more stats from your medkit, and I like it. It's pretty solid. I enjoy them. You got your Mole Man staff. I think it's pretty much best in slot for almost every summoner. Lots of damage, lots of attack speed. It's pretty damn good. Fred Duke's bodysuit, I would have to say that this would be a more improved version of the white suit jacket, just because you're getting the strength and the less damage versus all attacks. So, I don't really play a whole lot of tanky characters except for maybe Emma. Maybe a little bit of Colossus, but mostly just Emma, and I don't know. I feel like White Suit Jacket is a little bit better on her just because of the flat defense rating, but I don't know. It's not bad. Keep a hold of them. Maybe one day we'll get a character that can really make use of it. You got your Lizards, which is, a lot of damage rating, attack speed. I used to use these a lot on Cyclops and pretty much any character that gained damage based on how much attack speed, because you get a lot of it. I believe you can get up to 8%. Yeah, up to 8% attack speed on there. So that's a good 8% base damage on some attacks. Not something to scoff at. Sabretooth's Furry Mane, best in slot for any kind of bleed character. It's phenomenal. I enjoy using the shit out of them. You get tons of crit and tons of damage. Really, really good. Scroll Energy Focusing Rifle. One of those that's very niche, especially when you're coming to energy. I mean, you got Iceman that can use it. There's Gambit, Rocket, Star-Lord, Cyclops if you're using him in an all-energy build. And plus the power duration, it's not bad either. Definitely helps out a good bit. Pyro's Flamethrower is another one of those niche artifacts. I don't need 2 Zolas, but Pyro is, for burn type characters, and I think there's really only a few with, I think Star-Lord might have a burn. You got Human Torch, maybe Ghost Rider as well, but yeah, there's not too many, so it's very niche, but hopefully sometime soon we'll get some more burn type characters that'll make use of this. Sherebus Neototem is another summoner type artifact. Lots of damage, but I don't know. I don't see these used too much anymore since there's a whole lot of better summoner artifacts. But if you don't have a Iron Legion armor sheath, or if you don't have a Mole Man staff, definitely pick yourself up a Neototem. It's definitely a good supplement. The Flag of the Skrull Empire, another one of those really top tier artifacts, especially if you can get really high rolls on them. Again, because of the attack speed, they scale really well depending on the type of character that you're playing. Like I was saying earlier with the Lizard's formula, the attack speed is really good with Cyclops because of the flat damage that you're going to be getting from attack speed, which translates to Optic Beam. You see your plus 1% damage per 1% attack speed. So getting a nice little chunk there is pretty phenomenal. Black Tom Chalet, another energy damage niche artifact, drops a higher chance off a Juggernaut, but these are the ones that's kind of fallen out of favor again, like I've mentioned before. But again, another very well made supplemental artifact, especially when you can't quite grasp or can't quite get the best in slot artifacts for your character. Hopebuster Psychics package, a great hybrid ranged melee artifact. Get you plus fighting up there if you have both procs, tons of brute and crit as well, and more attack speed. So if you're playing any kind of ranged melee hybrid character and you don't have anything else rolling around, throw yourself up at HPP, man. Spider Clone Serum, it's pretty general. You got your fighting, your base damage versus bosses, and your flat damage rating with a little bit of defense there with the health. But I feel like this one's also fallen out of favor a whole bunch more since you have a whole lot of other artifacts coming out. But most of these artifacts I'm going to be talking about are going to be, just one step below best in slot or best in slot themselves. I don't know. If the build that you're running calls for one of them, definitely use it. They're not too hard to get. I think the change to how the spider clones drop them versus the spider clones themselves don't drop them anymore, but only the superior spider clone does. So it might take a little bit extra farming to try and get one of these guys, but they're pretty cheap, very, very cheap if you're going to be trading. Armor Alternate Reality Chaos Portal. I believe it's also a best in slot artifact for those summoners. Tons of damage and tons of health. Just lots and lots of summon stats. Very, very good. The M26 Anti-Reality Grenade. One of those triple damage hybrid artifacts that's really, really awesome. I use this on Rogue a whole bunch, Doom, any character that uses triple damage abilities, physical, mental, energy, and ones that take a lot of area powers. This one's going to be it for you. I believe it's still best in slot for some specific builds, but it's very, very niche. You got your Sacred White Gorilla Necklace, pretty much the best in slot physical damage artifact that you're ever going to find in the game, especially when you get the crit hit to physical attacks and the proc when you crit you gains physical damage. It basically just helps itself out. You can't beat that. Super awesome. The only bad thing is it never fucking drops. I only recently got a couple from the mysterious Crimson boxes from the anniversary event, so I'm super happy to finally have some, but at the same time, damn, they take forever to drop. The Armor Issue Nano Poison, another armor event artifact. It seems like quite a few of them from that event are pretty prevalent. But this one's really great for any kind of melee character. You got your +2 fighting and then a stacking buff whenever you hit with a melee ability, getting brute strike and brute damage. Lots and lots of damage coming out of this one, guys. So definitely think about picking one of these up. Orders for the Scroll Empire, another one of those summoner niche artifacts. Tons and tons of damage with power duration and the +2 intelligence with boost up your summons just a little bit more. Can't beat it. It's awesome. I use it on my Doom. I use it on pretty much every summoner that I use. The Blessed Scroll Communication Device, great for mental characters. Plus you get the +1 energy proc whenever you hit with a mental power. Stacks up to 3 times. That's 12% extra base mental damage, boys. Tons and tons of damage. Iron Legion Armor Sheath, amazing. Probably one of the best in slot artifacts for a lot of reasons. Look at how much inch you're going to get. And the +1, I think you can go up to +2 rank. Yeah, you can go up to +2 on the summon powers. So if you're playing a summoner and you don't have an Iron Legion Armor Sheath, get yourself one, man. They're invaluable. They're amazing. Right next door, you got your your Sinister's Diamond, another area mental kind of niche artifact. Works really well on characters like Ghost Rider, Scarlet Witch, Jean. Just any character that uses mental and area, you can get tons of use out of this guy. Getting close to the end, you got your improved arc reactor. Now this specific artifact comes from the Civil War vendor. It comes from the Iron Man one, so whenever that comes back around, get yourself a pro registration side and go and grab one of these things. Best in slot for a lot of reasons. For a few specific characters, it's great on Deadpool. It's great on Juggernaut. It's great on Iron Man and War Machine, just because of the amount of bonus spirit that you're going to get, which all of those characters translate bonus spirit, awesome, whatever the resource's name is, directly into extra damage. So despite the +2 energy and all that other stuff, it still is a very, very good artifact. And then last but not least, you got your Scroll Fury's Eye Patch. It's pretty basic, lots of defense rating and health and damage versus rating versus bosses. I use it on Emma just because of the amount of defense rating and health that it gives, but it's not phenomenal, but it's not shit either. It's more defense oriented versus damage. So if you have a character that scales more with defense than damage, I would consider using one of these. Now, there are a couple artifacts which I don't have, which I'll go ahead and, kind of go through real quick over here in the Danger Room vendor. You got your Cyclops with right t-shirt, area damage, plus energy. It's not bad on Cyclops if you're running full energy, but, it's also really good on Iceman, Rocket, Star-Lord, all energy-based characters that use area effects a lot. This one's pretty good for that one. Fist of Apocalypse, crit damage, brute damage, strength, and health. It's basically 8% flat physical damage, or 8% base physical damage plus a lot of modifiers, so you're going to be getting a lot of damage out of this guy. Definitely consider picking this up if you're playing physical damage characters. Tanya's Love Letter, I don't know. I'm not too big of a fan of it. It does have the plus fighting on it and the enemies or damage rating versus weakened status, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I feel like you're sacrificing way too much damage for just that proc. So, I don't know. If you want to test it out, go for it. And all these other ones down here, like your Sentinel Targeting Unit and your Mobile Lab, are very, very niche as well. The Sentinel Targeting Unit bases around your signature power, and I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not worth the trade-off of an artifact slot for me, but, if you want to, give it a shot. And, of course, the Mobile Lab unit, very, very good for movement abilities, or movement-based type builds. You can also combo this with the Black Cat's grappling hook, which I actually don't have in my inventory right now because, well, reasons. But I think I have it in my stash. Let me go over here real quick and just show you real quick what it looks like. Here we go. Fighting, damage rating versus bosses. You got a little bit of modifiers in there with the crit, and then, of course, the damage rating to movement powers. So if you're playing a movement build like Juggernaut, Nova, Surfer, maybe take a second and try that one out. And of course, there's tons of other ones out there that are pretty mediocre or maybe less than mediocre. But the ones over here are pretty much the ones that you want to really keep an eye out for, or ones that you might want to stash away for a later build. So, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully some of this stuff helped you out. If you have any comments, let me know which ones you guys think are the best, which ones you guys think are shitty, down in the comments below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you later. Peace.